So buddy, let's watch it. Let's go ahead and do the game review for Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a game developed by Eidos Montreal and published by Square Enix, who gave me a copy of this game for free, a download copy of the game. So I really appreciate that, Square Enix. Thank you for giving me the game for free. But all these opinions in this video are my own and my own only. So this will also be a non-spoiler review, so if you've not played the game, you don't have to worry about spoilers, but don't leave any spoilers in the comment section below, just in case you've not played the game, and I don't want there to be spoilers in the comment section below for people who haven't played the game. So now we'll get started with the good, and then we'll talk about the bad for this review, and then we'll talk about the verdict, what I rate this game out of 10. So this game took me exactly 2 weeks to complete. And we'll get started with the good. So we'll start off with the story for this game. For me, I really enjoyed the story. I had a blast all the way through, and the story was probably my favourite part of the whole game. That and the really fun and awesome characters, which we'll talk about them shortly in this video. I thought the story was written rather well, and I just thought the story was just really fun from beginning to end. It was paced rather well. There weren't any parts that I thought, yeah, I'm getting a bit bored. There were no parts like that whatsoever. I was just having a huge grin on my face watching the story unfold. Really, there's quite a lot of twists and turns to it. There was one chapter that had a surprise I really wasn't expecting, and it was quite a weird surprise, but I also thought it was a very cool one as well. I just really enjoyed the story. It was unpredictable. I wasn't sure what was going to happen next, and it definitely ended on a satisfying conclusion, in my opinion. So for the characters, they are just absolutely incredible. They're fun to see them interacting with each other. All the voice actors who played the Guardians and all the other characters, they just put their all in their performances, and they all do really well. I love the main characters, I love the side characters. My personal favourite is the character you play as in the game, the main protagonist, being the leader of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and that is Star-Lord, which is also a made-up band for this game as well. I love that there was a band that was made up just for this game. I think they just made it for this game, and the band's actually called Star-Lord as well, so I find that really cool. I've not really got too much else really to say about the characters, but they've all got really incredible relationships with each other. I love the way they all really interact. They all interact with each other. The villains are pretty cool in this game as well. And there was quite a lot of characters that just make me laugh, just say really cool and fun, and just really fun to really be around. And I'll talk about the gameplay for this game. To me, the gameplay is really fun. I really enjoy playing this game. I don't feel like the gameplay is as strong as the story for me personally. I still did really enjoy the gameplay. It was just really enjoyable to take down bad guys in this game, and all the different abilities that Star-Lord has, and the huddle ability for all the Guardians. There's just so many. I just had so much of a fun time just playing this game. It wasn't just a story why I wanted to play it. I also wanted to play it because I had really fun gameplay. So Star-Lord's got 4 abilities, so we'll talk about them now. So you've got an ice ability, you've also got an electricity ability, a gravity ability, and a fire or plasma ability, whatever you want to call it. And all those abilities are really fun to use. Some of them you don't just use to take down enemies. There are puzzles involved, and they really make you think, and I really like that about it. I feel like the abilities, it's what makes the gameplay, I feel like, more unique, and probably my favourite part of the gameplay. That and the huddle, which I like that you get to make a decision, and then all the characters get really powerful abilities, and there's really cool songs that play when they use this ability as well. You got songs like "Take on Me" by a-ha, "The Final Countdown" by Europe. There's so many just classic 80s songs playing in the background, which I find absolutely incredible. So we'll talk about the decisions in the game. The decisions are really fun to make and don't really impact too much in the story, but do impact quite a lot of the gameplay scenarios, and I really do love about that. And it's just, if you wanted to replay the game, and if you chose different scenarios, the game might be quite a lot different for you, and I do quite like that. It's quite a different experience to whatever decision you make, and a lot of them do affect like the relationships with you and the Guardians. It doesn't really affect it too much, but I feel like there's just the right amount of decisions, and I feel like it affects just the right amount of characters and gameplay. I would like to maybe the decision to affected the story a bit more, but still the story we got for this game was absolutely amazing. So we'll quickly talk about the humour before we talk about the soundtrack for this game. The humour in this game can just be absolutely hilarious at times. There were a few times I was nearly crying of laughter. It got that funny. I feel like sometimes the game doesn't take itself too seriously, but I do love that about it. It's a game with just having a massive smile on my face for pretty much all of it. It is quite an emotional game. There are some scenes that I do feel quite sad. I feel like the most part, the emotion I feel is just laughter. I laugh quite a lot in playing this game. So for the soundtrack, I absolutely loved it and still do love it. That's the main reason why I want to keep the game. Is just because of the incredible music. I absolutely love it, and plus, I probably want to play this game again because I do think this game is amazing. But the soundtrack for me, my favourite song is Final Countdown Europe, which is in my top 100 songs of all time. Aha, Take On Me I mentioned, and there's the band Starlord, they've got quite a few songs. There are in total 28 songs in this, which I feel like is quite a generous amount. They're a great amount, I think. I don't think there's too little. I don't think there's too many either. You just got so many classic 80s songs. You've got like George Michael, Wham. You've got all sorts really. It's got pretty much like the most iconic 80s songs really are in this game. Now we're talking about for the graphics for this game. Oh wow, the graphics are absolutely incredible. It looks really really realistic. The graphics in the Square Enix Avengers game was amazing, but this one is just even more incredible. I feel like Square Enix are getting better with the graphics as they go along, because the last few games I've played, just the graphics are just absolutely incredible from them, and they did a really really amazing job. This is probably their best game in terms of the graphics and the visuals. It can be breathtaking at time with how realistic it is and how much attention to detail there is. It's just mind blowing. So for the collectibles, there are quite a good amount of them. I've got a decent amount of the collectibles. There are bio stuff, so you can get more knowledge about this world of Guardians of the Galaxy. You've also got you've also got outfits you can get. We'll talk about the outfits now. I absolutely love the outfits. They're really really fun to collect. They're really fun just to see all the Guardians wearing all the outfits. They've not worn that many in my playthrough, but I wouldn't mind maybe playing the game again just to see the really cool outfits that all the members of the Guardians have. Some of them are from the comics, some of them are from the films, and some of them I'm pretty sure are just made up for this game. I've not really got too much else to really talk about when it comes to the collectibles and the outfits. I do feel like there is a great amount of them, and there are also upgrades you can get in this game as well. I think some of them you do need to get some of them. I'm not sure if you need to get all of them to get all the trophies in this game. I've not really got too much else to really say about the upgrades. They are just really really useful to have. And I think the best one to get is one that you can get more resources with. So if you're playing the game, I highly recommend to get that one first. I got it quite late in the game, which probably wasn't the wisest choice. But if you were to play the game, I'd recommend to get it as your first upgrade in this game. The length for this game I thought was a perfect length. Wasn't too long, wasn't too short. Maybe it could have been slightly shorter, but I don't really feel like it's much of an issue. I feel like the length is pretty much perfect to me. And now we'll talk about the boss fights and enemies for this game, and then we'll talk about the bad for this game. So for me, with the boss fights, I absolutely enjoyed them. There weren't too many of them. I feel like some games maybe overdo it or underdo it with boss fights. This I feel like has a perfect amount. I think it's about half a dozen boss fights. All of them are quite enjoyable. They're not revolutionary or unique boss fights, but I feel like the enemies you take down are quite unique in the boss fights. And the enemies are just quite unique looking. Some of them, it took me quite a few seconds to really get used to how they looked. Some of them are just really, I feel like all of them are just really, really creative with the way they look. They all stand out. I don't think any of the enemy types are really forgettable because of just the way they look. And they are quite challenging, a lot of the enemies in the game. Some of them you just get taken down a couple of hits, but that's really all I've got to say for the boss fights and enemies. They look really cool, they're really fun, but some of them can, but some of the enemy, some looks of the enemies can get a bit to get used to, but they are still quite unique looking. Now we'll talk about the bad for this game. So for me, the bad, we'll talk about there are some glitches in the game. There's not as many as there was when the game first launched. I watched a review of the game and it looked like it had quite a lot of glitches, whereas when I played the game there weren't that many. So I think a lot of the glitches are sorted out now. There are still a couple, but I think you're going to expect that in a video game now. But they're not really too. They're just very minor glitches. They're not really major ones for this game. You might have found quite a few more glitches than me, but I just didn't find that many. I don't think there are that many glitches for this game. Also, the Milano, which is your ship in this game, I feel like it is a really cool ship. There are quite a few cool things to do, but not enough things to do. I'd like there to be more things, such as maybe Star-Lord's record collection if he's got one. Also, mini games would be quite fun. They did mini games in Life is Strange True Colors, which Square Enix published. So I feel like it would be quite cool to have some mini games here as well. That would have been really cool. I also prefer it when the game has a lot of chapters, but are quicker to get done. This game's got 16 chapters. I feel like each chapter, they're not short chapters, they could be over an hour long, I feel like all of them. And I would rather be maybe like 24 missions and then be possibly half that length, or just over maybe like 45 minutes per chapter. It's not too much of an issue, but it would have been, that's just what I personally like. I like a lot of chapters that are quite short, rather than only a few chapters that are quite long. But now I'll move on to the verdict for this game. So as far as the verdict's concerned, I recommend this game to people who like the Guardians of the Galaxy characters and just the Guardians of the Galaxy world, and for people who just like superhero games in general, to go ahead and check this one out. I also, and now I'll move on to what I rate the game out of 10, which I rate this game a 9 out of 10. I thought it was a very amazing experience. One of my favourite video games I played. It's probably my top 15 favourite games of all time. It's one of my favourite games of last year, 2021, and I highly recommend to play it. And thank you to Square Enix for sending me a free copy of this game. You really didn't have to, but I really appreciate that you did that for me. It's all thanks to my dad, really, how I'm quite good friends with Square Enix. I actually went to where they publish their games, which was really cool to see. But thank you Square Enix and Eidos Montreal for making this incredible game. You should all feel very proud of yourselves. It's an absolutely amazing game that a lot more people I think should play. I think already quite a lot of people have played it, but I want more people to play it because I just think it's just an absolutely amazing game. I can't recommend it any more than I already have. I just absolutely love it. That's really all I'm going to say here. This is probably my longest review I've done. I've just got so much to say about this review. And Square Enix, if you're watching this, or Eidos Montreal, if you're watching this, thank you for this amazing game, and hopefully you enjoy my review on it. And this is my own opinion. You can let me know your opinion on this game in the comment section below spoilers, as this is an unspoiled review. That's all I've got to say here. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys in the next video. And until then, peace out and ciao.